coming to your home state now as the champion. First of all, what is it like to have that title as a champion coming back to Georgia? What does that mean to you?
I am really glad you asked, because I feel like with the WWE schedule and the amount of shows and international PLEs, it's maybe lost in discussion that here sits kind of the North Star to our business, and what was once the WWF Championship is now in the hands of a Rhodes and returning to Georgia Championship Wrestling territory, returning towards Crockett territory, returning to a spot. It's if you're a historian for our industry, it's like Game of Thrones. It's a very wild series of events to be able to have this. But anytime I'm in Georgia, anytime, it's like I don't know, you don't take it with as much pressure, I suppose. It almost feels like it's a party. Whenever I get to do anything in Georgia for sports entertainment, for wrestling, for our sport, for our medium, it just feels like a party. It really does. And has incredible fans that deserve big marquee shows in the state of Georgia. So I'm blessed to be doing it.
We're excited to have you back, but you've been in the main event of WrestleMania. You have been the focus of a venue that is the size of an NFL stadium. Now you're coming to Columbus, Georgia, where the Civic Center is 10,000 strong. It's easy for some maybe to say like, okay, it's not a big a deal, but I know that's not how you roll. How do you bring the energy to a venue that's, let's just say, slightly smaller than the Philadelphia Eagles Stadium?
I think that's kind of, for me, personally, that's kind of the mission, and that's kind of the point. When I left WWE, I was wrestling in buildings that could only hold 300 people. And it was about, great, we're going to have the best time with 300 people, and we're going to say hi to as many of them as we can. We've had champions in the past at WWE that only do the stadiums, that only do the State Farm arenas of the world and things of that nature. And for me, a company decision and a decision I've made, and just the mission we're on, is we go everywhere. We really do. I feel the title hasn't been brought to a lot of places in quite some time, and it's an honor to do so. I also, selfishly, I only get better at wrestling, and I feel I'm the best I've ever been. I only get better at wrestling by wrestling. So I don't look at like, hey, this is WrestleMania in Las Vegas. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait. 80,000 people. To me, they do all have to feel like WrestleMania. And you have nights of magic. You have nights of bliss that no matter how many are there in the crowd, whether it's 70-something thousand or whether it's 10,000 strong, whatever it may be, the magic can be felt in very different ways. Some of the loudest, most raucous, excited fans I've ever been around have sometimes been in the smaller venues. So Columbus gets the same love Philly did for WrestleMania, at least for me.
So speaking of bringing it back home and bringing it back to your stomping grounds, how much clout did that title give you at your 2004 high school reunion in Lassiter High School?
I didn't bring it. I didn't bring it, and now I feel like I should have for a photo. There were some people who kind of came out of the woodwork to find me for the reunion. And I'm really like, I'd like to, shout them out. One of my former teachers, Jody Day, and then the class president, Jackie. I was really flattered that they reached out for me to come, because again, it's 20 years. It was one of those, I have to go. Otherwise I got to wait. What do they do, a 30-year? Like, I got to wait. I have to go. And I was really happy to go and see some people who, you have those big moments, those transformative, informative years of your life, big conversations, big dreams. And then to be able to see people and say, hey, I got to where I was saying I got to. It took a little longer and a unique path, but I was really enjoying that, to the point where I remember telling my wife, I was like, we're going to stop in for 5 minutes and then we're going to leave. And then we were there, and I got to see, I was a drama kid. I was amateur wrestling and drama. I literally don't even know how my coach allowed me to split both, because they were both, basically for me, I was year round with both of them. And to see the drama club, that was really, really cool. I should have brought the title just for everyone else, to have a moment with. But yeah, maybe I'll do it at Hope. Man, I'm giving myself too much here. Maybe they do a 25. At that point, I could still potentially have my hands on it. I don't know if I can make it all the way to 30 though.
Well, there we go. Some future booking for Cody Rhodes right there.
There we go.
Now, kind of bringing it back to the story, we know that the Bloodline has like 9,000 cousins that they can call on. Do you have any family, friends, or cousins that could probably help you out and fend them off a little bit?
I feel like every Bloodline individual, when they're born, is like told that they have to hate me, and that it's their job to hunt me down. I have family, two young men who are considering the voyage into our industry, but I am very trepidatious to mention them because Dylan and Dalton, both at the University of Texas, outstanding athletes, and they really have it in their blood. Exactly, Hook'em. They've got it in their blood, which I saw firsthand. They trained with QT Marshall at the Nightmare Factory in McDonough, Georgia. But I really want to kind of slow roll that, because if you're coming into these matches and say you find yourself in a 6-man with me or an 8-man with me and Dustin, well, Jacob Fatu is a man eater, and you know, Tama Tonga is not to be trifled with, and of course, you know, Solo Sikoa, the current tribal chief, they're all just superior athletes. So so I don't know. I think all of us need a little more seasoning before we decide to posse up. We'll do it. We'll go down swinging. Well, it's a very Rhodes trait. We'll do it, but I know as we get a little more years on us and everything, we'll have sharpened our swords just a bit more.
I know you're a busy man, so I got a couple more questions for you. I have a
Hit
little
me.
bit of as a Georgian native, what's your go-to Waffle House order?
So it's pretty boring. It used to be, you know, I don't. It used to be the double Texas cheesesteak without the onions, which is not even really a menu item because it's like the way they do it. But I'd get a double Texas cheese without the onions. I'd get the waffle well done, and we do like the awful waffle where we just cover it in syrup, which was fun then. And I probably owe Waffle House some money. I used to steal the mugs. I'd always steal the mugs when they first got the mugs. So that's probably it. But now it's just, they do a really good grilled chicken and eggs, and you can see them cooking it. And if you do hash browns covered in cheese and you ask for no oil, you're actually doing well on macros in terms of hitting a diet. So yeah, no, that's right now it's grilled chicken and eggs, no oil, and the hash browns covered in cheese. And that's a win for me from Waffle House.